Hi guys, we're waiting just for a few more people to enter the room and then we'll get started. Probably another minute or two. Okay, hi guys. Welcome to this presentation I'm looking forward to sharing with you. It's called Economic Leapfrogging Today. It's really just going to be me telling you exactly what's going on. I really want to bring as many people as I can into a few things that are going on. If you're not aware of what's happening in the global, in the macroeconomic scale, I mean, there's so much going on and so many ways that we can take advantage of it, so many ways that we have been taking advantage of it. I'm going to be talking about that today, and I really do believe that within this 45 minutes, I think you're going to get an awful lot out of this presentation. So let's go ahead and get started here. What is tonight all about? Well, tonight I'm going to show you what I've been doing to increase my accounts by leveraging the wealth transferring economic events that are already taking place right now. And I think that you guys know exactly what I'm talking about. I'm going to get into that in a little bit. We're all here in the Forex for a certain reason because we intuit that there are particular advantages that we have in this market, and there are particular opportunities that we will have that we don't necessarily have in other areas or in other asset classes or just in other instruments. So what's the live proof? What's the proof of what I have to say, that anything I have to say is of any benefit whatsoever? Well, I mean, I've got clients now that I've been doing this for the last few years, being able to share my journey with other traders like myself and very much like yourselves. We've been able to do a lot of things. We've been able to, this is one showing a 48.7% live result in just 2 months of trading. Here's another one, 58%. This is in the beginning of FX Edge with the FX Edge hybrid, one of my other trading systems, in 3 months. And, you know, of course, we've got a CPA audited results for our Weekend Warrior live trading room that we do every Sunday live in the market with our trading robots. So we've got that, and actually this is not even up to date. It's currently in the 60+ percentile returns for the time period, which is about 9 months now. So that's an excellent return for a 2% risk. So we're pretty proud of that, of the things that we've been able to do live in the market for our clients and for ourselves, of course. So let me tell you a little bit about myself before I go on, and for many of you, to remind you of who I am. I'm still a Florida-based attorney. I am an attorney. I do not practice law. Clearly, I trade. That's all I do. I'm also a business owner. I have been highly successful in investments in real estate when that was the place to be. I've been a full-time Forex trader since 2006. Really, when I exited at my exodus of real estate in the real estate market is when I really entered the Forex, and I'll talk to you a little bit more about why that is. And of course, I've worked in the field of Forex strategy development and automation. I program in C++, MT4, and Easy language. Not too proud about the Easy language. It's really a misnomer. Not easy at all. I've worked on joint projects with leading retail strategy developers in the field, resulting in highly profitable and reliable trading programs. And I've established a leading exclusive Forex software mentorship website called myfxedge.com. And now we also have a financial advancement website, including the Forex and business tools, which we do through www.thebuildwealthplan.com. I'm very proud of that project as well. So I keep myself busy, but let me talk to you about why I'm in the Forex. Why am I in the Forex? Guys, what I discovered from my journey and from my successes is that anyone who finds themselves on the right side of a trend will be victorious. They will come out a winner. Okay, they're going to be winners. In fact, during the tech stock run that we had, where everyone was a bull on tech stocks until about 2000 in that area. Anyone who bought tech stocks was a genius. They quit their day jobs and they went into the stock market, and basically all you had to do was buy. Same thing with real estate, which I was very fortunate to be able to, actually very, very fortunate to be a part of. And it was the same thing. You could buy property at almost any price, especially being in Florida. You could buy property at any price, and eventually the property values were going to increase and you were going to make a profit. It was just that simple. And guys, what it comes down to at the end of the day is that it was a trend. We took advantage of trends. So that was a very axiomatic time in my life to understand that you don't have to be a rocket scientist. You don't have to be a brain surgeon. You just have to be able to find the trends. And so I like to latch on to anyone who's good at finding those trends. Well, there's a reason why we're here right now. You are the more intelligent people, and you've actually latched onto the Forex for a reason. You intuit. Many of you and many others of you have done the research, or someone really, really smart has told you that the Forex is the place to be. Well, guys, from 2001 going forward, we saw a trend begin to emerge. We saw the trend in the U.S. dollar. We saw the U.S. dollar continue to erode, and there was a clear trend there. So basically, if you were that's what I saw, and I knew this was the place to be. Now, why am I still in the Forex? In 2006, I jumped into the Forex because I knew this was the place to be. Clearly, we are in a trend. It is the most trending market in the world. It is the market the only market that we can get as much leverage as we do, with as many opportunities as we can handle. The question is, are you going to be able to handle them going forward? So right now, guys, I've got to tell you, I'm having this webinar for a number of reasons, and I've been saying a few things for a long time. And I'm not by any means a Nostradamus. By no means am I a Nostradamus. I know some guys who are a lot smarter than I am when it comes to forecasting what's going to happen in the markets. I am extremely good at strategy development, but I'm certainly no Nostradamus. But I can tell you this: I've been right on, spot on, in different areas, and we are in an axiomatic time in history. Okay, why are we in the Forex? Because years from now, people are going to be talking about how we made a killing in this market. Okay, even a year or two from now, new traders to the Forex will probably not be able to take advantage of the drastic possibilities that we have because of where we are in macroeconomic history. And let's talk a little bit more about that, okay? So let's take a brief moment just to have a reality check about what's going on, and then I'm going to sum it up just in a few moments here. Stock market, buy and hold, a thing of the past. It's no longer the place to be. Unemployment rates are higher than ever in the United States and abroad, unless, of course, you live in Australia, and then you're in a different world there. Inflation increases as I speak, and I'm speaking right now about the U.S. dollar and the U.S. condition, and I'm going to tell you why that is of importance to everyone, if you don't already know. Okay, the real estate market, I think the picture here and the situation really speaks for itself, okay? Still headed downward, still in a downward spiral. Prices are still dropping in the United States, even in Florida, where I also have a home in Florida as well as in Europe, and you can still see prices dropping there. We still have foreclosure homes, and this is a place where we have a large influx of large amounts of money. S&P is still suffering devaluation there. So what's the big conclusion here that we're making? Well, the U.S. economy certainly is experiencing a slowdown. We're seeing we're continuing to see inflationary risks. Of course, they're saying there's none, but I can tell you when I go to the grocery store, to the Publix, or I don't know where you are, but there's definitely inflation. It's not 1.1% or even approaching 2%. It's definitely greater than that. Every time that I put gas in my car, I know exactly that, that there's a significant devaluation of the dollar. Furthermore, being that I travel back and forth from the United States to Europe, I also know that there's a significant devaluation in the U.S. dollar. What is that? That's nothing new. I'm not telling you anything you don't know. And I hope no one takes any offense to this, the dollar bills being on the toilet. I love the United States. I, of course, am American, and I've got nothing against it. But I've got to tell you, there was a time when you look at the Deutschmark where, instead of buying their kids toys, they let them make brick homes out of the Deutschmarks. Okay, so those days are. I'm not saying those are the days that we're coming through. That's an extreme, but I definitely see some parallels there. Okay, so there's this going on. There's a devaluation in the U.S. dollar. It has been going on since I've been in the market, and has continued, guys. These trends are what helps us to make money, but I'm going to tell you that it's going to get worse than this. Okay, now, guys, I actually made this PowerPoint presentation before we actually had a release today by that came out of the Eurozone. Apparently, Greece is finally finding some resolution, has made some accords, and basically they've got a 5-year plan with the IMF and the ECB to get themselves together. And so they're going to pass that potentially on Monday or Tuesday. And so that's why we've seen the euro actually gain a bit of value here in the last few hours. But these are the kinds of things that we're dealing with. So there's a sovereign debt problem in the Eurozone, but not just in the Eurozone, but really all over the world. This is also telling of that very same thing, as we've seen euro bonds continue to climb through the roof here. And so these are the things that we've been seeing. So let's talk about this. How is this going to affect us? I think you know how. Really, guys, there's a couple of things. Number one is I've showed both sides of the picture here because I'm really a euro dollar trader. Anyone will tell you that I love to trade the euro dollar. Why? Clearly because it puts money in my pocket on a consistent basis. So that's why I really love the euro. Of course, I trade other things like the Aussie, the yen pairs, that sort of thing. But I really do love the euro. So I'm talking about these two pairs become these two currencies become very, very comfortable with their relationship. The bottom line here, guys, is that the weakness that we've seen in the Eurozone of late, really because of the sovereign debt issues that they have and what we call the PIGS, Portugal, Ireland, Greece, and so basically what we're and Spain, of course. What we're seeing here, guys, is a pull and a push back and forth. But guys, the long-term erosion of the U.S. dollars is really what's going to what we're going to see that's going to really cause or show us tremendous opportunities in the future. They're going to continue to give us tremendous opportunities. There has been a massive exodus of wealth, true wealth, not monetary value, not the value of the actual dollar, but real wealth that's coming out of our pockets. Everyone, everywhere, just about is being stolen from, and people are taking advantage of it, okay? The question is, who's going to be the one that's going to continue to take advantage of it? I believe in the next 6 months to, I'd say about 2 years or 2.5 years, that we're going to see a tremendous and precipitous event, okay? And we're going to see a few events because it's a dynamic that continually shifts, and that's why I believe right now is the time to be in this market and to be in the right positioned in the right way in this market. Now, clearly, I'm preaching to the choir here because you guys are in the Forex and you have intuited that this market is the place to be. Not necessarily that you're not trading stocks, not necessarily that you're not in other markets, Not that I don't see that there's definitely a lot of room in the precious market. I'm very interested in precious metals and commodities, but certainly the Forex with the leverage, with the massive opportunities, the fact that it's the most trending market in the world, and the fact that it is directly affected by these macroeconomic factors that I'm talking about is why this thing is going to blow loose. And this is what we've seen even in the last 6 to 8 months in our trading strategies. We've seen a significant shift, and we've had to make certain adaptations to them. But this is not in the negative. This is actually a very positive thing and can be a great benefit to us in the long run. Okay, so what now? We know where we are. I think all of us in here know where we are as far as where the U.S. dollar is, where it's gone, and where it's probably going, actually, because we're run by people who believe in continued loosening and quantitative easing, and they believe that printing money is the answer, and they continue to discount inflationary risks. Well, this is a big problem for us, not just in the United States, but worldwide, because the U.S. dollar is still touted as the world reserve currency. Okay, so as long as the U.S. dollar is to be considered that way, there's going to be a moment, guys, because people are going to get tired of being stolen from. World banks are going to get tired of being stolen from. Governments are going to be tired of getting stolen from, and they're going to shift. There's going to be a shift. And this is what I believe will happen unless, of course, something else, some other event occurs that would somehow preclude these things from happening. In the direction that we're going here, guys, we could see a massive exodus, even more so, a stage 2, if you will, of a flow outside of the U.S. Dollar. Okay, when that happens, which I think at this point is probably an inevitable event, you've got to be prepared to be able to take advantage of that thing as much as possible. So how are you going to be able to do that is going to be the question. Okay, so to profit really, and guys, you don't want to miss this event. That's the bottom line. That's what I think. People ask me, why do you work so hard, Marcello? I mean, clearly your stuff works. Clearly you're able to reach the levels that you want to reach. Because for me, guys, if I clear the table with 50%, I'm absolutely happy. But when I do clear it and make 100% or more, I'm absolutely ecstatic. But I've got my minimal level, and I know that's where I want to reach. So what the question for me always is, why do you keep on pushing? Well, I keep on pushing because I know that something big is going to break. And every year we see an event or we see something happen that we consider to be a sizable event in this market, okay? But it's nothing compared to what's to come. And my thing is, I don't ever want to be on the sidelines when that thing happens. I want to make sure that I'm tuned up and I'm ready to go, and I'm ready to take all the profits off the table that the market wants to give me, because it's going to happen, guys. And I don't, we've got different sides of the equation here. Some guys believe in market makers, the market maker boogeymen, and, I don't have a feeling on that one way or the other. Other people have the idea that this market really is free and that we can, it's just about technicals and fundamentals. And, that's also good. But it's really not going to matter, because when that dam breaks loose, we're going to see an unprecedented amount of flow that no one's going to be able to stop. And if you're in the right place at the right time, you're going to be surprised when you go to sleep and you wake up and the market is giving you opportunities. It's the same thing that we actually saw when we saw the breaking of the carry trade, okay? 2007 in that vicinity, we saw the carry trade that many traders had used for so long to profit break. And what did we see? We saw the pound yen, the euro yen, the yen pairs really just drop like a rock. And that was a tremendous opportunity. No one could stop that. If you were in the right place at the right time, you did exceedingly well. If you were in the wrong place and you didn't have stops, you absolutely do remember that event. Okay? So there's going to be something that happens, but it's going to be bigger than that. And we're going to see it happen. And if you're in the right place at the right time, you're going to get everything that you want out of this thing, and probably more, to be honest with you. And that's my mindset. That's where I'm sitting, and that's what I'm thinking of. How are we going to take advantage of this, guys? Well, it's going to come down to two things. A robust Forex strategy, okay? A strategy built internally to capture trends in the markets and turn on a dime. So when I say robust, for me that means a strategy that's going to be able to deal with sideways movement in the market until we get those big moves, and we also need the ability to take advantage of trends, okay? And two, you need a bigger stick. That's what it comes down to. More capital and more capital now, okay? Because, you know, nothing wrong with, you know, a couple $1,000. If you got $5,000 or $10,000 that you're trading right now, that's great. But you know, when that big move comes and you have the opportunity potentially, and I don't know what that number is going to be like, so I'm going to be extremely conservative and say, you know, let's say that you're able to pocket 300%. It's not going to change your life. I mean, yeah, it's going to change your life to say, hey, I've won. You know, I've dominated this market. I'm the man or woman, but it's not going to change your life. So the more that you're able to push toward that thing, of course, is probably, you know, what's going to allow you to be able to take advantage of the opportunities that we're going to see here. So let's start first with a robust long-term strategy. Okay, so economic success given to a strategy is given to a strategy that focuses on the following factors, and it's always going to come back to these three as far as I'm concerned. Okay, it's got to be based on capital preservation. The one thing I remember is the first $60,000 that I lost in the market as a result of not paying attention to capital preservation. And really, guys, that came from not using a stop loss because I had done so very well with this particular strategy that I wasn't even worried about it. You know, I had done so well, and I know some of you are out there because I've spoken to you who believe that you don't need to use a stop loss. Okay, you definitely need to use a stop loss. Without a stop loss, you can't know how much you're risking, and without a stop loss, you can't truly have a fort. You know, a fort around your money. Okay, so capital preservation, of course, is the number one thing for long-term success, long-term viability of a strategy. You absolutely have to have capital preservation in mind, which means using risk management. Okay, and these are things you know. You got to use position sizing, and you got to use stop loss. That's number one. Two, consistent capital appreciation. These are the things that we have to work toward. Now, guys, I know, you know, we've got two types of people in this room. We've got those traders who go for the trend. They go straight for the trend. They're not worried about anything else. They're just running for the trend. Okay, and this is fine. And because that works out. I mean, we can look at many examples. Turtle traders, you know, the Bill Williams systems of the 90s, that sort of thing. They work very well. I believe in trend trading, absolutely, because that's where the money is, especially in this type of a market. But that is not going to happen 70% of the time. The market only gives us trends maybe 25 to 30% of the time. So you can't always get an opportunity, okay? But you've got to get something, okay? So consistent capital appreciation is a part of a robust system that's going to give you success. And so it's basically at least taking a portion of the profits, and then it's reverting back to capital preservation, and then it's considering your risk at that point to either move it up or to somehow hedge your position. Okay. Lastly and not least, it's where the money is really made. It's capital explosion. So when you have a system, and this is how all of my systems work, and you know what? There's no secret to this, guys. This is just the way that it is. Capital explosion happens when you least expect it. The market will give you an opportunity, okay, and it will just run. You'll go to sleep at night putting a trade on potentially. You'll wake up in the morning, and that trade will run off, and you'll be up 25%, and you just don't know how it happened. Heck, it happens to us, and I have no idea how it happens. You know, sometimes I see the move before it happens. Sometimes I never saw the move at all, to be honest with you, to be frank with you. But that's what a great strategy is supposed to do. It's supposed to give room for capital explosion. Capital explosion is what happens when the trend occurs. okay, when you're able to take advantage of the trend. It's like catching the wind and going in that direction, okay? So that's the trend component, capital explosion. You've got to have all of these: capital preservation, stop loss, risk management, consistent capital appreciation, meaning that you're taking something off the table every time, and capital explosion, which deals with the trend component, all right? So let's talk about the concept of big Forex profits really quickly. And because I'm going to kind of talk about, just for a brief second here, one of my strategies, which I've used since the very beginning, is called the STP. And it's a hybrid type of a strategy. Essentially, what you do is it basically operates to use the law of momentum, okay? So basically, if you understand what momentum is, objects or markets in motion continue to move in that same direction. So there's inertia that works toward markets, and that's why the Forex just continues to run in one direction or the other. There's some form of emotional and psychological inertia that is manifest in the market. Okay, so when it starts moving in a certain direction, it continues to move in that direction is generally what we see. Okay, and so that's the idea behind this trade, this Swing Trader Pro that I have used for years very effectively. Okay, the key is to identify times of true change of market course versus simple price variability, and of course knowing when to exit. So what am I saying here? I'm saying you really want to know when the market's intention is to run off, as opposed to just a minor, if you will, glitch or a minor blip, if you will, in price action. And so this is what we had always, or I had always determined to do and define, and that's what all of our strategies some way or somehow try to figure that out. Okay, so that was our STP. Well, now I'm gonna. Our STP has done well in the past. Has always done very, very well. But I always determined that I was actually. Let me go back here a little bit. I determined that I always wanted to have. It's a daily strategy. I always wanted to use it on the 4-hour time frame because that's my favorite time frame to trade. Why? Because you get the weight of a higher time frame, the true market intention, but you don't have to wait for a long time for a trade. Okay? With the STPs, you may get 1 or 2 trades per month per currency pair. With this thing, you're getting trades more often, and you're getting the real intention of the market, and you're getting to it very, very quickly. So that's what I had worked on for years, but for some reason I just couldn't get it right until just about 8 months ago when I really hit it right on with my programming, with the strategy development, and everything else. It really came together. Well, excuse me, guys, for the guys who are in this room who know me and the hundreds of traders that I mentor, I didn't give it to you, and I don't generally give you a strategy until it's been well tested, forward tested, and live traded. And this strategy, if you will, we started trading on this pullback right here. Okay, and as you can see, it goes into a nice 45-degree angle. We started trading it right in here, and that would be really close to the beginning of the year. And as you can see, it's almost doubled since then. But what it's done, guys, which is interesting, is that it has maintained essentially this entire run. Now, this is my new FX Edge Quattro, guys, and this is what I'm thinking and why I released it. I generally don't release, maybe because I'm lazy, because I know that I'll have to stay on top of it. Because when we automate a strategy and give it to people, we actually have to make sure that it is even more robust, because people have to be able to, the people who don't want to do any work at all, they have to be able to trade it, and I have to be accountable to those people. So let's talk about what this trade has done. Okay, well, on a $10,000 account during that entire time period, and this is a back testing, guys. The total net profit was $84,659. So that's what it was able to do. And let me get to the more impressive parts. Okay, first of all, that's with a $10,000 account. That's number one. That's impressive. Okay, so it's made 8 times its money, as you can see, 846%. The profit factor is at 2.67, which means that you risked $1 to make $2.67. And the percent profitable is well within what I believe to be acceptable, which is about a 67% real-time profitable trade. So you're going to win about 7 out of 10 of them is essentially how that works. The other thing that's really impressive about this trade and why I'm bringing it to the market right now, why I'm bringing it to you guys and may very well put it back into my vault, is because it had very limited very limited drawdowns at all during a month. So as you can see, month by month here, this is what you've seen going forward. Okay, so let me tell you show you what I'm looking at here. Here we have, starting the beginning of the year, 6.25% in January. February, 0.72% negative. So that was, where you see that red there, that means that it lost 0.72%, okay, which would be, it's really just a nominal amount for many people. 21% gain in March, 25% in April. May was a 9.24% gain, and in June was so thus far has been a 6.19% gain. Nothing really happening here in June that we would expect there. So all across the board, a very, very great strategy. It's also got versatility because there's a couple ways that you can use it and profit from it. So this is why I really do like this strategy, and we began really going hard with this strategy. And as you guys can see, what's interesting about this is that during the times where our other strategies were weaker, we had a drawdown in the month of March. It actually had a 21% gain. Now, guys, you know what else is interesting about this? It's that it uses half of the risk. Yes, half of the risk. So before we had done our analyses utilizing about a 5% risk per trade. And the reason that we had done that is because we want to account for all of the possible drawdowns. So if you look at it using 5%, then absolutely you'll know that drawdown. You'll see it right on, and you'll say, okay, this is not the strategy I want to use. So we generally use the higher end of what we would consider to be acceptable risk, for our trades in our testing, so that we can make sure that it's going to be acceptable when we go into live trading. Well, this particular strategy, we did that, and then we brought it down because the numbers were just so ridiculous that we brought it down to 2.5%, and these are the numbers that we've gotten. We've actually been able to make more money from a yield perspective with this strategy, something that we had not seen before, with lower drawdown and with less risk, which is what we wanted to do because if you know anything about, if you've been trading for a long time, one thing that people don't like is they don't like drawdowns because they quit in the drawdowns. So you've got to carry through the month, and at the end of the month, this is what it will do. It gives you much lower risk. So this is actually a very, 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 very good strategy. I'm very, very impressed with it. So how does the Quattro really work? The Quattro is an oscillator-based trade, kind of like what I was talking about. It basically deals with there's a relationship between the 4-hour closes of the market, and the highs and lows of price are basically captured in a relational average. And essentially what we do is we use that to figure out where the turns are, where price is accelerating or decelerating at, and we can tell that acceleration or deceleration. We can catch the other side of it. Okay, and essentially we're catching the turns of the market, essentially, and that's what an oscillator does. That's what an oscillator does. But we've been able to put together this Quattro in a way that it has been spot on with the market, but really allows it to do what we want it to do, what we believe a robust system should do, which is that robust system should allow you to take advantage of the trend, which is number 3. We talked about that. And of course, the first 2. We want to take profit off the table, and most importantly, we also want to protect our capital, which is the most important thing. And thus far, it's been able to do that. Okay, so putting it all together. Number 1, we said a strategy to catch the moves. We want a robust, high-yield strategy, okay? And I think that we've accomplished that here. I think the Quattro will give you that. The money manager is important, so we actually were able to bring to the market a strategy that actually uses less risk and makes more profit. which I'm very excited about. And also, for those of you who don't know, I am often called, especially by my peers in this field, as the automation specialist. So what I do the best is I'm able to automate strategies that I give you. So you know the strategy, but I automate the strategy. So while you're sleeping, while you're going to work, while you're traveling like I do, you're able to let your strategies run and make you money. It's like having an assistant, a trade assistant there taking your trades for you, monitoring those trades for you without you actually having to be there, without you having to worry about that guy messing up. And so that's what the automation does. That's all it does. You're still in the driver's seat. You know how it works. It's just allowing you to not have to be there every second of the day. And anytime you want to, you can also take those trades off. You're still in the driver's seat. And that's what I love about it. Now, the second thing, guys, is you need a vehicle to increase trading capital immediately without risking a trading penny. And this is really how the big boys do it. Now, one of the questions that people generally have for me here, it's so interesting, is why are you doing this? What are the reasons for actually, why would you share your strategies with the world? Why would you, why would you bring people into these opportunities? Okay, well, there's a couple reasons for that. Number one, if you've traded successfully for long enough, you know that it can get boring. We've got a couple traders that follow me, a few traders that follow me that, are just, they're beasts when it comes to trading. But they realize that, trading can be very boring. Now, you can make it as fun as you want to, but I like to successfully trade using strategies that I believe, I like to use swing trading strategies. I mean, I can go bungee jumping, or I can do what I'm doing here to get fun out of this experience, okay? What I'm doing here is I'm actually taking traders who otherwise may have been roller coaster traders going up and down, haven't had that breakthrough yet, and I'm giving them the opportunity to have a real breakthrough in their trading. And guess what? Because I'm in the Forex market, it doesn't take anything from me. This is a $4 trillion market a day. If every single one of us came with a great level of capital, $1 million or more in this room, and there are hundreds of us here, it still wouldn't even dent this market. It wouldn't. And besides that, we wouldn't use all of our capital. It wouldn't dent this market. It's the reality of it, because there are multinational corporations. There are governments who are continually doing transactions just to do business. The regular, everyday part of doing business is doing these kinds of trades, changing from the euro to the dollar. This is a part of what they do. And so it's not going to affect me if you guys jump on board with me and start trading my stuff. I mean, maybe from a broker standpoint, but we can all trade multiple brokers, but not from the really macro side of things. It's not an issue. Okay, so it doesn't take anything from me. But there's another thing, guys, that's going to be very, very very interesting to you. And this is where this is where I think that you're going to have a breakthrough. This is how the big boys prosper. Here I've got a couple guys that you guys know, Robert Kiyosaki, Trump. There's a lot of guys, along with myself, all my buddies here. I could have put a lot more people on there and given them free press because they're great guys and they want to do the same thing that I'm doing, I'm sure. But you know what they do? It comes down to they utilize what they have, their ability to leverage more wealth for their trading capital. Okay, that's what it's going to come down to. It's an ability to just pour more into your accounts, and you'd be surprised on how well you can do when you solve problems. And getting people to be able to be masters of their own destiny, man, that's a big problem to solve. Some people feel completely lost in this market, in this world. And so for me to be able to help those people, it's a tremendous thing. And this is what these other guys do. Why does Donald Trump was rich before he ever began doing his educational products. Why? Because he has an opportunity to leverage more of himself. Okay, I'm going to show you guys a way also with my Build Wealth program. Remember I told you about the buildwealthplan.com? Well, in that program, it's actually a passion for me, and I'm going to show you everything that I'm doing to build wealth during this time, guys. And from the Forex, which I absolutely believe is the place that you need to be. Also, the things that I'm doing right now with you, and the things that I'm going to bring you guys into, it's going to be very, 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 very. Those are the things that are going to change your life. So really, before I go on, guys, what I want to do is we actually have this calculator here. And I want you guys to think about this really quickly. I was actually going to bring some people on, but I'm kind of running a little bit late, so maybe I'll take one or two questions here. But guys, here's what I want you to consider. You have your plans. You guys are obviously very intelligent people. You've made a decision to be in this market for a reason because you understand the power of what's going to happen. You intuit, at the very least, that there's something that's going to happen on a grand scale here. And if you're in the right place at the right time, you're going to be able to take advantage of it. And I'm telling you, people are going to be talking about it for years. And they're going to be probably getting in a little bit too late. It's what it's going to come down to. Okay? So let's talk about this. I've got right here a financial freedom calculator that we actually are in the process of putting up on the website, on the Build Wealth website. And essentially, guys, you've got to think about what your goals are. What are your real goals? For some of us, we want to, we want to reach a certain point. Let's say it's $1 million. Let's say that you want to make $1 million. Okay, that's your goal. Once you hit that $1 million mark, then you are golden. Let's call it 100,000. Let's just call it an even 100 grand. Oops. Okay. Say that you want to make 100 grand. Okay, and let's say that you've got 5 years to do it. In fact, let's call it 3. And I'm just playing with this thing here. And let's say that your initial investment is, 10 grand. What would your ROI have to be with no annual contribution? And let's just assume a very, very, what I consider to be a conservative ROI that I think that anyone can reach. If you were just trading my weekend warrior, you could easily make this during that year. I don't even want to call it 100%. I would like to call it, let's I'm not going to leave the ROI actually. In fact, let's see how long it would take you if you had 50% returns per year. In fact, let's call it 75%. How about that? Oops. How long would it take? And actually, let me go down here. How long would it take to achieve your goal, making 75% per year? And guys, these are, let's be honest. You're getting 2% on your MMAs, on your, money market account. You're not making that much money off of these things. So give me 1 second, guys, as I navigate this thing for a second. Where's my what if? It's much better on the website. I'll tell you what, guys, why don't you guys give me some numbers that you're working with right now? Give me some numbers that you're working with right now. And actually, let me plug this in for you. Okay, I like that. Okay, we've got a couple here. Ross is working 20K, wants to make 50%. Where's he going to be in 3 years? I can do that. 3 years, 20K. With no annual contribution. and making 50%. I think that's really beyond realistic with no annual contribution. Oops, I think I took out the formula, guys. Sorry about that. Let me run this back just to restart it. Okay, let's try that again. And basically, guys, this calculator that I'm sharing with you is actually going to be on the website. So you can actually run these numbers for yourself backwards and forward. So 3 years, let's try that again. 20,000 starting. No annual contribution and 0.5%. There we go. I'm sorry, 50%. So basically, at the end of 3 years, making 50%, I think this is an acceptable amount to make. I think it's very decent returns that he's asking for. It's not a lot for this market. $67,500 is where you'd be at with no annual contribution, adding absolutely nothing to the mix. Okay? That's adding absolutely nothing to the mix. Okay, now let's say that you were to add an annual contribution along this. I mean, trading very, very conservatively, okay? And then you were to, say, be able to add, an additional $5,000 or $10,000 per year. Okay, I'm not, and let me just entertain me here. Let's say that you were able to add $5,000 to your trading account per year. Okay, that's it, just 5. And I'm really, I'm thinking that's very conservative because you could probably add about 10 with what I'm going to tell you at the very least. Some of you could add 20 or 30 or 40. That would turn that into 86,250. Okay, now let's kind of put it out there a little bit more. Okay, so now basically, guys, based upon our annual contribution, you don't add the first year. You've added 2 more years. You've added $30,000, and you've added altogether, and you've been able to take that $30,000 and turn it into $87,000, almost $90,000. Okay, 3 times, making 50% ROI. Now let's say that we took that money and we actually put $50,000, well, basically $40,000. Sorry. So the $20,000 first investment, then after a year we add $10,000 and another $10,000. So now we've added $40,000, okay, in our annual contributions. Now we're at $105,000 with a 50% ROI. Okay. Now this is what you can potentially do. Let me ask you a question here. Okay, here, disregard my numbers. Let's see, 75, okay, someone's talking about a $7,500 account, want to make 10K per month. Okay. And now, guys, I'm actually going to show you a way that you can not only increase the amount that you can put in your account, your monthly contribution potentially to your trading account, but also develop a pretty decent income, kind of the way that others are doing it right now. Someone once told me, and I think this has served me very, very well in my life, if you want, the biggest money will come when you solve the biggest problems. And one of the biggest problems that people have now is that they just have they have a need for direction financially, and that's what it comes down to. So anyway, let's go back to this 3-year formula, and let's see what we have here. Okay, $7,500. You're starting with $7,500, and I'm assuming no contribution. Okay, so no contribution, no annual contribution. I'm assuming I'm going to use the same 50%. I think that's extremely conservative, and I think that you can absolutely achieve that. So assuming that you're making 50% per annum, let's just assume that you're probably going to need to get to the 100K mark to be able to get where you want to go. Okay, so if you hit the 100K mark, you could probably make what you're trying to make per month. Okay, after that year, I would say. So let's just push this out a little bit, and let's call it 4 years. I think that's, or 5 years, most people. Okay, 7,500 at 50% ROI becomes 56,953. Now let's say if we could accelerate that and add another, let's say $1,000 a month, and that's very conservative, to your annual contribution. Let's call it 12 grand. Okay, that 12 grand contribution per year, $1,000 per month, and honestly, it's a little bit off because you're going to be making money off that $1,000 per month. Let's call it $12,000 per year. $7,500 initial investment. Let's imagine $1,000 per month. You'd be able to sock away $203,203.13 in that 5 years. Now, clearly, you don't need to make that much to make that 10% per month now, or that $10,000 that you want to make per month. Okay, I think this is a good figure, and I think it's a good place to be. But I think you could probably do more with 60%, or even 60 or 75%, because the market's going to give us many more opportunities than that to achieve what we want to. But if we aim low, guys, when I say aim low, I mean have an acceptable amount that is realistic. The market's going to be so generous to you. You'd be surprised at how generous it's going to be when you begin to respect your capital. And that's what Build Wealth is about. It's about showing you how to respect your capital, make this a business, okay? That and showing you how to get this annual contribution without risking a single penny, getting that annual contribution up to reasonable numbers, okay? So all that stuff is what we're going to talk about. I'm going to increase this up just a little bit. 2% risk on our Build Wealth program is getting you right about here, about 75% or 100% per annum. Okay, and that's not a bad place to be. That's actually a very good place to be. Let's assume 75%. The Quattro, basically what it's been doing is going to give you an average, because we don't know what it's going to be. Some months, as we saw, it was down 0.72%, and then months that you have a 25% gain. So, you've got to average that stuff out. Now you're talking about really, really significant numbers there. And that's without us talking about the economic events that are coming, the precipitous economic events. So let's just call it 75% to be very, very conservative. And this is where you're at the end of that time. Okay? 357,707. So now we're talking about some real numbers. I want to show you guys how to get to those real numbers. I don't want to take more of your time here either. I've used up my hour, so let me talk to you about what you're going to get with my Quattro, okay? We want to talk about real numbers. When you can think about these real numbers, you can really begin to cultivate a really good plan for your financial future. So I want to give you this Quattro here today. It's a new product, something that I'm putting out for the first time, and maybe be for the last time. I did this with my iRev. I launched it out to my clientele, and I never let them back in. I never let it back out, I should say, because I put certain products out, and that's what I want to do. So let me talk to you about what I'm going to give you with my Quattro that I'm putting out here today. I'm going to give you a 30-day trial to my FX Edge Power Hour. So basically, guys, when you get this product, you don't get left behind. I'm 1,000% there with you. Any of my clients will tell you that. I've been in this game for a few years now, and I've been very fortunate to have very good reviews from my clients because we take care of them. Yeah, it's a robot, but it's much better if you learn how to trade it. You don't have to do anything. It takes the trades for you, but absolutely, I want to be there to walk you through the entire process and make sure it's done properly. So I have a power hour, which means that from 5 to 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, from 5 to 6 every day, Monday through Thursday, I'm right there with you, telling you what trades we've taken, what's happening in the market, what side you should be on, and where our trades are. So there's no way for me to dodge anything. If we made money, we've made it together, and if we've lost money, we've lost it together. I think there's a little comfort in that. But definitely, at the end of the day, we've made money. And so you'll get a 30-day trial to actually come in with us and hang out with me and my VIP pro traders that will be speaking at those 5 to 6 o'clock time periods. We find that 5 to 6 is a very, very powerful time to be in the market and to do an analysis of the market. Okay. Bonus number 2 is going to be also, I think, a phenomenal thing. I'm going to give you a free 30 days of my exclusive Build Wealth program. Build Wealth is a full A to Z program taking you from detailed financial assessment of where you are today to a roadmap of where you need to be or want to be with a personalized plan, education, and executable tools to make it happen. I can't say enough about the Build Wealth program. It's a vision that I had for a long time. Everything that I do and I have done, I want to give to other people. I want people to have the opportunity to have everything that I've been able to have and to do. And a lot of it comes from both sides of this. So I'm actually trying to copy myself, if you will, not just in my Forex trading, but in other areas as well. So that maybe you can do the same things I'm doing, travel, have a place in other places, and begin to amass a decent level of stability in speaking financially, and take better advantage of this market. Okay. Okay. Also, what you get with a Quattro, you get 30 days of a live weekend warrior trading room. So, guys, some of you I know are already in this trading room. You would actually get you would get this trading room as well. FX Edge Weekend Warrior Live Trading Room is another product, guys, that I think you would absolutely enjoy. If you have not had a product with us, you'd actually have the Quattro, and you'd be able to trial this Weekend Warrior Trading Room for 30 days, where I'm in the room on Sundays. It's our 2-hour trade week where we make that that percentage trading. That all those trades I was talking about, where we're up currently in the 60% bracket right now, with the CPA audited results, that comes from the Weekend Warrior. Okay. Okay, bonus number 4 is the platinum membership to our website, myfxedge.com. You'll get the trading tools, the calculators, educational articles, trading videos. But basically, guys, all the videos, Power Hour, Weekend Warrior, all of that is all recorded, and you can watch every single one of them if you're a part of those groups. Okay, and we also have a trading plan. If you don't have a trading plan, it's the most important thing you can ever do, and that's what I really want you guys to take advantage of. If you don't have a trading plan, this is something that you must have. If you don't have a trading plan, guys, I'm telling you, you're fighting with one arm tied behind your back. You do not want to do that. Get a trading plan. Get disciplined in your trading. Whether you're a automated, manual, or a complete discretionary trader, you still have to have some sort of a plan here. And you also get bonus number 6, access to the Forex Bootcamp. Okay, it's yours for free. Simply, if you're new to the Forex, it gives you an A to Z refresher, even if you're not new to the Forex, of what what this Forex is all about. And I think it's a great bonus. Okay. Okay, and number 7, you get my report. I talked to you. I kind of alluded to it. $60,000 tuition to the School of Hard Knocks, where I got to lose some money. And basically, that's a great it's a great article where I get to talk to you about what I went through in, the lessons I've learned from the School of Hard Knocks here. So, and the last thing I think is most important, guys, is that I always take all of the risk of all my trades. Don't risk a single dollar. Trade the FX Edge Quattro for 60 days. And if it doesn't make profit, we'll give you your money back. I mean, I think that is me putting my money where my mouth is. Don't risk a dollar. Trade it for 60 days. It is 100% guaranteed, and I think that you'll enjoy it. We bend over backwards for our clients, and I think that you will find that we do extremely well. So let me tell you what you should do now. You should go to www.myfxedge.com/Quattro. Okay? myfxedge.com/Quattro. I'll actually put it in our conversation there. Let's see if it actually takes us there. I haven't seen the landing page yet. And guys, I'm ready to answer any questions that you may have right now. Any questions that you may have, if you want me to go back to the calculator there, I'm definitely willing to do that. Okay, some people are saying the same things. Yes, absolutely. I definitely understand. You know, when you have a small account, you can only do so much with that small account. You've got to be able to build that account systematically. And I want to talk to you about building that account systematically and how you can do it over time. And you can begin to take advantage of some of the benefits that I've been able to take advantage of. So, and of course, those go from, you know, just multiple ways that you can leverage yourself and leverage your experience in this market, and also be able to really begin to you know, leverage your account to new levels. And so I'm going to be talking about that. Okay, I want to start with 5,000 and add 50,000 after the first year. Yeah, Matt, I think that's a great plan. One of the things that you have to do is you just have to be able to take, you know, you've got to be able to start. Guys, what I recommend is when you start trading, and I know that you've been around for a long time, Matt, actually, when you really get going, the first thing that you want to do is that you want to demo trade and find a strategy, commit to that strategy if you know that it has a strong track record. Then what you want to do is that you want to live trade it on a lower level, because even though it's an automated strategy, I can't tell you how many times people override the strategies, or, you know, they do things like turn off the robot and turn it back on. You've got to get used to it. So it's better if you you know, you take it slow at first and then build into it. So I like what Matt's saying here about, you know, starting with a $5,000 account and then building into a $50,000 egg. Because, and guys, what you want to do is, you obviously don't take my word for it. You've got to know that the stuff works for yourself, and that's what it comes down to. What I can say, guys, also is that in the next, I would say, week or so, I'd say in the next few days, we're going to probably see a nice move up on the euro if things continue to move in the way that they have, because of the information that's been given to us here. And so, you know, one way or the other, I think the Quattro is going to be able to take advantage of that move. I think it's poised to be able to take advantage of that move. So I'm really looking forward to that. Of course, barring unforeseen circumstances such as, you know, new information coming out, that sort of thing. But either way, it's going to adapt to the circumstances, and you're going to have a great opportunity potentially to take advantage of that trade. And I of course, I'm going to say, you know, I told you so, naturally. How does the Quattro risk compare to the IREV or the IBO? It's half as much risk, really. I mean, really, it depends on what risk you determine to put on it. But based upon the yields that you had, you can even turn the Quattro down to 1% risk if you want to, and it still be very functional. You know, currently we have it set at 2.5, and I find 2.5 to be extremely beneficial. If I can go back to a previous page here, guys, if you need the link, it's at the bottom of our conversation here. Here, this will tell you the story. It tells the tale right here, guys. You know, the drawdown that we had in that month of February was 0.72%. It wasn't even 1%. So imagine you have a $10,000 account, and in that particular month, you were down $72. $72. That's it. And so that's exactly what, you know, this Quattro does. It's actually a much better risk profile, which is why I really like it. And I also like, guys, that it has been consistent in its period. I mean, we've got, you know, 33%, 26, 9, 12, 22, 27, 14, 11, 22. You see, 21, 25, 9, 6. So those are the types of numbers that we've been seeing with this particular trade, and it's been able to catch a lot of the market moves without being overly aggressive. And so what I like is that mix, and that's what I wanted to get from this trade, and that's why it's taken me so long to get it perfect, to get it right, I think. How does the question, okay, is this an expert advisor? You know what, it's both it's a strategy, so you're getting a strategy, like if you were to buy anyone's strategy, they teach you the rules, okay? They give you a webinar, teach you the rules, give you a manual, tell you how to trade something, and then in addition to that, what I do is that I give you automation to make sure that you take every trade properly and implement it properly. Now you get indicators too. If I could show you guys, actually I have been remiss because I have not even shown you what it looks like on your chart. Okay, this is a Quattro and this is what it looks like on your chart. This is the actual trading on your MT4 platform. It's going to go on your MT4 platform and it looks just like this. And so what you see is, you see all this lettering here. This is the Quattro telling you your risk, what's going on in the market, what you have available to you, what your risk profile is. It also, guys, by the way, I got to tell you, something that this Quattro does that no other robot I've used has, is that it actually gives you an add-on. So when you have a very good trend and it's moving in your direction, it's going to give you the opportunity to pyramid in with no additional risk based upon that other trade. And so I've never had that before on a trade, and it's actually amazing. And these results don't even talk about adding that second or third position on, actually. So, you know, that's something additionally that's going to even further turbocharge your trading, especially when those big moves do occur. Okay, and what you can see here, guys, is that it's got volatility, it's got the Quattro itself, indicator, very, very simple and straightforward, and it tells you everything. In fact, I send you messages all the time through my website, and here it says, congratulations on your acquisition of the FXX Quattro. Sometimes it'll tell you, hey, you need to upgrade your software of the FXX Quattro, etc. Guys, if you notice here, I've got my strategy tester open. I generally don't do that with MT4, but this is one of the things that you can do. As you can see here, it ran this particular test. I'm going to actually leave this one open. Every time I run that, I don't believe in MetaTrader 4 strategy tester, guys, because I find that it's not strong enough. But what you'll notice is, though, what I find it good for and why I'm leaving it open is so that you can go ahead and you can run this test, okay, and you can see how this thing performed over time and watch it as it continues to run. And it'll help your trade psychology too, because you'll say, okay, well, it took a loss here, it took a loss here, okay, well, it made money back here, okay, now it's got a big move here, okay, well, it took 2 losses here, and you'll get used to how it moves. And as you can see, this is not an equity curve that anyone would be in any way, you know, anyone would shy away from. It's clearly a great strategy. But this is what it looks like, guys, and it's got so many tools and so many things that it can do. Guys, when you get this, you don't have to do anything, really, if you don't want to. Everything's already done for you. As you can see, there's not a lot of settings here. It really just gives you, you know, what your risk is. Do you want to risk 1%, 2%, 5%? Where do you want to put your risk at? On your add-on trades, where do you want that risk to be? Everything is already set up and ready to go as far as that's concerned. And basically, you're ready to go. That's it. And it also has a visual indicator here on the actual robot. So it does an awful lot. What I'm going to do, guys, is I'm going to hold a webinar next week for my Quattro, the people who jump in on this Quattro. I'm not going to be leaving it open for very long. The reason that I opened it up here, guys, is because it's a winner. And generally, guys, what you find is during the summer times, you find that trading is not as robust in general as in other times. Okay, but what we found with the Quattro is that it's made significant percentages For instance, last year, August was not really the best month ever. But here, this Quattro was able to pick up 22%. These are the numbers that I'm looking at. I'm looking at the key times in the market. It made money when we all made money, and it made money when other strategies were weaker. And so that's what I like about this Quattro. I like that very, very much, that it was able to do well during the summers. So great. I like it. Okay, what is Quattro? What does it mean? So Alan, I'm sorry, if I can answer your question, it is an expert advisor as well. So it will take trades for you. It will manage those trades. It will, it will modify those trades and it will exit those trades. Okay, but you are in the driver's seat. It's just another tool that you can use. We have some clients who would rather just take the trades manually, and they absolutely love that. And we have clients who just let the robot do all the work for them. Of course, I like both. I'm a hybrid trader. So what I like to do is I like to let my Quattro or any of my robots take the trades, and then I like to modify them as I go because I've been trading for a long time. So I like to do that, and we have people who love to get in there and mix it up. Okay, is this just for the euro dollar or for other markets? This actually works well on multiple markets. I've got a pound dollar and an Aussie dollar version of it. What you're getting today is the euro dollar until our meeting when we have our session next week when I tell you all about it. Then I'll be putting out the additional versions there. But the euro dollar is going to be great. I want you to get used to the trade and really play with it. Okay, so what is Quattro? Quattro is Italian actually, and it actually has a great legacy. You'll notice that great cars like the Audi has a Quattro as well. The original four-wheel drivetrain, if you will, for the BMW is also called the Quattro. The Quattro has a very good history. It means four, and because this is a 4-hour trade, which gives us a lot of versatility. It gives us the ability to move very quickly in and out of markets, and also to take advantage of the overall trend is why we called it the Quattro. Okay, you said the first 30 days is free, then you said 60 days. Which is it? Yeah, I'm sorry to confuse you. What I meant is that you get a 60-day trial. Okay, you get for, complete 60 days. You can try this thing out, no problem at all. And then what you also get as one of the bonuses is that you get all of the extras. You get the Build Wealth website. You get My Power Hour. You get all that other stuff for 30 days to test out and to enjoy. Who do you use as brokers? I like any broker that is a 5 p.m. close of day. So FXDD I like very, very much for that reason. But we have other people that use other brokers, although I definitely prefer them. And we're actually, guys, just to bring this up, I'm glad you brought this up, Sandy. I actually am getting ready to launch another standardized trade across all brokers. That's going to be great anytime now. Me and Fred are actually working on that at this moment. Yeah, actually, it's so funny because we don't have, let me show you a trade example here of the Quattro. Actually, guys, I'm on a different computer here. I would have been able to show you a better trade here, but I think that we've got a couple trade examples right here. June 9th, we had a pretty decent trade here, as you can see. This is a more memorable trade, I should say. And actually, you can see it in the tester here. Let me go back. It's a more memorable trade, and I'll tell you exactly what happened here. Actually, this is from the 27th of May. And so as you can see here, guys, we had a, let me move up here, show you an example of a trade here. So basically we have a change from red to green essentially is what we're looking at here. And basically that's all we want to see. We want to see a change from red to green, and it's got to meet one or two other conditions here as well. I don't want to confuse you. And essentially we got into this trade on the next bar, and what you notice is that price goes sideways. we don't get out of this trade. We're still in this trade, and we actually run this trade all the way up. So we take the first take profit, so we lock in some profit, okay? And the second one continues to move up until we really get to a much higher place. Actually, let me go on here, and I'll show you. So right here, all the way up, is where we finally are able to exit this trade. And as you can see here, we're able to, it modified multiple times so that we actually lock in profit. You can see all the modifiers here. And then we finally exit the trade here for a very solid profit. Okay? Okay, so our website's not loading. That's not good. I hope someone else was able to get on the website. Okay, let me go back. myfxedge.com/Quattro. Does this system replace any of the current systems? No, it's a completely different system. It has a resemblance to the STP. And so if you like the STP, you'll very much like this one, except it's much faster, gives you more trades, but it has more or less the same stability, which is what I like about this one. And actually, it's tuned up and ready to go for this market, which I also like. I think it's going to give us tremendous opportunities as we go forward, as we see the markets unfold, and especially during this time because of everything that's happening. And when they finally do bust out, and finally, multiple things are going to happen economically from a macroeconomic standpoint. From what I consider to be inevitable is a furthering of quantitative easing, because that's Bernanke's middle name, and certainly other events that will certainly precipitate a certainty of a weakness in the dollar, which I believe eventually we're going to move away from the U.S. dollar as the world currency. Stock market down then? Not necessarily. I mean, yeah, I've got to be honest with you. The buy and hold model is just, that's been dead for a long time. I think that people are really in different markets. I think there are going to be great opportunities for us there as well. I think there are some good buys there, but across the board, I don't think that there are great buys. I do think that there are more opportunities, and there are going to be new opportunities once again in the real estate market eventually, even though for some that seems counterintuitive. I think there will be opportunities there. I'll be talking, and experts will be talking about that in the Build Wealth website. So, we'll get to that. Certainly, I think there are opportunities in the Forex like never before. I think there are some commodities. Precious metals are very good right now, as you know. I think these are good. Yeah, being a member of Weekend Warrior, some of the benefits are already owned. Any further discounts? Yes, absolutely. You don't have to worry about that with the for that 30-day trial. Hi, Marcello. Is the Quattro good also for trend as well as sideways? Oh man, it's awesome for the trend. I know, Ed, that you like the triple threat 3. I think you'll like this trade very, very much. Personally, I love it. When it says unlimited access to any currency pair, is that one or any currency pairs? unlimited access to the currency pairs that are being traded by the Quattro, essentially. But I think what it means for the WW, the Weekend Warrior, it means that you would get to trade one of the currency pairs as a trial. Unless, of course, you had already owned the Weekend Warrior full, and then you wouldn't have to worry about that, of course. You just get the Weekend Warrior trading room. Okay, does the system trade 24 hours per day? It's not in trades 24 hours per day. Actually, it says, according to the stats that I showed you, it does say that it does trade about 64%. It's in the market about 64% of the time. And hopefully, the more we're in the market, it's probably because we're in a trend somewhere, and we're holding on to trades for the long term. So that's great. Okay, thanks, Fred. People might ask, should I trade the STP and the Quattro on the same account? Yeah, I don't see why not. Generally, guys, what we found is that you have an STP and you have a IBO, which is a 4-hour strategy, and sometimes they even run counter to each other because of the difference in time. And what can happen is that you can have a buy on the STP, and you can on the daily, and you can have a sell on the 4-hour, and the sell will hit its take profit first, and then the daily buy will continue to run and hit its profit as well. So I mean, I don't think there's an issue there, unless, of course, you have a hedging problem with your broker, and I don't think that you should if you've chosen correctly. And we can help you with that if you don't have a broker. What pairs are you recommending that we trade for the Quattro? I personally like the pound dollar. Well, I love the euro dollar, number one. I think there's going to be a tremendous opportunity in the euro dollar. Tremendous opportunity over the next 6 or 8 months. And if it were up to me, I would let you guys just trade the euro dollar. But I think there are also great opportunities on the pound dollar and on the Aussie dollar. I think the Aussie dollar is going to open up again, and it's going to give us some room to grow, especially if we see gold continue to rise. The Australian dollar is going to continue. First of all, the differential that we have between the interest rate of the Aussie and the U.S. dollar is going to push and probably provide fodder. But certainly gold is certainly going to, if it continues to move up, we're going to see the Aussie dollar move up in kind as well, as it is a commodity currency pair. Celia, no, absolutely not. Don't worry, it's not going to charge you again. I love the fact she's already, if you've got everything that we have, if you've got Build Wealth, if you've got the Weekend Warrior and everything else, don't worry about that. It's just going to, you've already gotten it. Actually, you're going to get a discount, and you're going to be able to, you're not going to be charged for that month. Is what's going to happen. And so you'll just have to check back. Is the Quattro, the STP, based on a 4-hour chart? Ross, yes, it is. It is basically, it's loosely based upon the STP. It uses the same oscillator, but it definitely, that we designed for the STP daily, but it has a different algorithm, so it does interact with the market in a little bit of a different way. And that's what we had to do. It took me years to really figure out how to get it right. So I'm very glad to be able to share it with you now. I'm new to Forex. What software is required? Hey, Bill. Really, it's going to be simple. We'll walk you through it. It's step by step. In fact, if you're brand new, we actually have technical support representatives that can actually set it up on your computer for you, and you can walk through the steps. I love newbies, so I would love to have you as part of our group because, to be honest with you, you haven't learned any bad habits, and you can come to the Weekend Warrior, the Power Hour sessions with me. Well, I'll be talking about what's going on in the market from 5 to 6 o'clock, and you can ask me as many questions as you want. I'll be your mentor. So think about that. So you'll get technical support who can, if you schedule an appointment, they will help you to set up your platform on your computer by remote access. and then of course I'll help to continue to walk you through the process. And you'll just need a MetaTrader 4 platform, and that's free. And once you basically the only thing you're paying for is the software itself. Oh, with this great performance, what kind of performance do you see with 5% risk? You know, Chad, the numbers on the at 5% are so ridiculous that people wouldn't even believe me, so I don't want to. You would actually believe that the 5% numbers would be just double that of the 2.5%, but it's not true. It's actually an exponential increase in value. So actually, I think I have. Let me see if I've got the 5% models with me here. I'm sure Fred has it. Fred, if you have it, can you send it to me by Skype? I switch between computers, and that's why I don't have it here. But I can find that for you. I mean, the numbers are going to be ridiculous, and you're not going to believe them anyway. So let me actually look for it, because I do want to show you. I was hoping someone would ask me that. Okay, Quattro. Looks like I have. Okay. Oh, I've got a Quattro pound yen as well. I'm not sure if I'll release that, but if I get enough interest, I may very well release it. Okay, so $10,000 to $721,000. So let me go ahead and transfer this report so that you guys can actually see it. But I think 5% gives you a little bit more risk, guys, and you have to understand that with increasing that number, you also have, it's going to increase your risk, and you have to have, you know, you've got to have a lot of moxie to stand through a trading session, you know, when you actually do have a drawdown, because every system will have a drawdown. You will at some point take some losses, is what I'm saying. So let me actually get that over here. Hopefully I can, so that you can see it. So I know you'd be interested to see that. And let me answer some more questions in the meantime. And I'm sending over, yep, there it goes. Okay, all right, so I'm going to show you what this looks like now, Chad, at 5%. But like I said, guys, I mean, there's a two-edged sword, risk is and leverage is. If you use the lower amount, you're more likely to actually do it right. Because when you take a loss, you'll keep on trading right through it because you don't care. Okay, so this is what it looks like, guys. This is the report for the Quattro, and this is the performance summary. And you'll notice that the equity curve looks a little bit different, same exact, but what happens is when you hit this area, it does kind of move a little bit parabolically, if you will, or it's kind of it's absolutely a very strong bend to the upside because of it's a bit more protracted is what I'll say, the move to the upside, because you've got more weight. And that's what I'm talking about. Having more money to play with always helps. So anyway, the numbers are exactly the same, about 65% win ratio. And of course, now we're talking about from 10,000 to 721. Now, oops. And as you can see here, it's a $10,000 starting equity here. And what you'll notice is that some of the numbers are different. We have a 1.38% drawdown in February as opposed to 7.72. And so that looks good right now. July actually made a little bit less money at 1.98%, believe it or not. So you'd be surprised that some months are actually a little bit less money as from a percentage standpoint, and other months are much better. And the percentage gain on this particular one isn't right because the input was wrong. But this is what it looks like. And so you go from $10,000 to $700,000 based upon that model. But it's at 5%, and a lot of people can't handle 5%. They never do make it. 2.5%, I think, it's not about what the strategy is capable of. It's what people are capable of trading. It's a psychological game, even with the automation. So if you can take anything from that, I think trading at 2% risk, I think people can handle that much better. And even a beginner, let's say Bill, if you start trading here, you'll be trading on a demo account first, so you don't risk any money at all. It's going to be demo. And then eventually you'll go live. And when you go live with small money that you can afford to lose. It should always be money that you can afford to lose. That's why I'm going to show you how to make more money, disposable income that you can truly just put into that account to be able to fuel your accelerated, your catalytic retirement plan, if you will. Okay, with this great performance, blah, blah, blah. Okay, we just looked at that. What time frame is the Quattro traded on? It's on the 4-hour. Were these results achieved trading one pair or multiple? One pair, just the euro dollar, is what I've been looking at here. Are you going to go over the strategy with us if we buy? Absolutely. You know I do, Wayne. How does the Quattro perform on other major currency pairs? I also have those for you. I like the Quattro best on the euro, but it works well on other currency pairs. So let me show you some of those results. I'll show you the Aussie dollar. Actually, let me just pull up one more currency pair because I've got a lot of questions. So let me find it. Sorry, guys. 1 second. I'll get to all of your questions. I'll try to. The pound yen right now, I just think it's a little bit too vertical right now, so that's why I haven't pulled it. But it's performed exceptionally well. It's just too vertical, meaning that it's won the last 10 trades and hasn't lost any of the trades. So usually that means that we're due for a pullback, so I may very well not use that one. Okay, another question. I have a Mac computer. Is this compatible? Yes, it is if you get a parallel. You know, if you run anything, you should get a parallel. Are we required to subscribe to the monthly Build Well subscription? No, you're not. It's going to be free. Everything, guys, once you pay for the robot, everything that you get has a free 30-day trial. So you shouldn't have to worry about that. Do we need to use a broker that has a 5 p.m. close? No, you don't need to, but I think that it's the best. Those are the results that I tested on with brokers with 5 p.m. EST close. How does this differ from the IBO that I have in terms of strategy and application? It's a completely different animal. The IBO is actually a breakout-based strategy, and this one actually takes advantage of the change in the market direction completely. So it very well could. Generally, when you come right out of the trough of a trend or the peak, it's going to catch the other side of that. Whereas the IBO is just simply looking for a breakout in one direction or the other. I think it's just a much more stable strategy than the IBO and the triple threat. Well, actually, the triple threat 3 is actually very stable. as well. But I think it trades a little bit more aggressively than the triple threat 3 does now, and it's certainly more stable, I think, than the IBO, which has been my longest running trade besides the STP itself. So with the Quattro, you can set it and forget it? Absolutely. Okay, number of trades per month. That really does depend. Um, I'd say probably that's really going to depend on the month and what kind of opportunities we have. As you can see here, we have about 200 trades in about a 15-month time period. So if you can do the math there, you can figure, you know, about I don't know, maybe. Okay, that's not 200 trades. It's really 100 trades, guys. Sorry about that. So it's really about 100 trades. It actually doubles up on the trades there. So we're actually talking about 2 or 3 trades potentially. 2 or 3 trades per week maybe. So you're probably looking at maybe 6 trades in that vicinity. 6 trades per month. And I think that's great. I mean, that's like 1 or 1.5 trades. And the reason why that it's taking those kinds of trades is because it's usually in a trend and it's holding with the trend, trying to make more money. And guys, this does not include the add-on, mind you. So this actually has an ability to pyramid and to potentially compound your trades. So instead of just making the 300 pips that it's going to make for you there, it's actually going to go much. It's going to give you much more ability. So instead of that 300 pips, you could potentially make 600 or 700 if you get in 3 positions. And of course, to be able to get in those other positions, you have to have closed out the initial position itself for a profit, meaning that it no longer has any risk in it. Do you have a special rate for longer-term customers? Yeah, actually, Betty, we do. This is what you're getting right now. The guys who are on my list, the guys who are a part of me, you're getting a special rate tonight. In fact, to be honest with you, this may not come out. It depends on how I feel about the trade, how useful it is to our traders, and how much work it is for me from that standpoint if I'll continue to release this particular trade to the market. So it really is a special deal for you guys who are in this room at this moment. But I can tell you this, you're not going to get it at a lower price ever if I do put it back out on the market. What do you recommend as a good starting amount for this strategy? Deb, I always recommend about 5,000 starting for people. I think $5,000 is a good place to start. And I think it's because you can handle it from a psychological standpoint, and also because you can, because it's going to give you a good opportunity, enough weight behind your trades to see it actually do something. Thanks. Thanks. The Quattro will go well with my TT, my IREV, my Weekend Warrior, Fader. Glad to be with you. Richard, I'm glad to have you. Definitely. Just jumped in. Do you set it up as normal in my MT4 and VPS? Exactly the same thing. Should be able to run it just fine. Guys, I'll be putting out I'll be letting you know when we're going to do the setup for next week as well. How's the Quattro different from the STP, the TT, and the hybrid as far as strategy? It's definitely different from the TT, and the hybrid, of course, is the IBO and the STP. It's like the STP, except it trades more and it just makes more money, to be frank. And really, that's what it does for the other strategies as well. Historically speaking, that's how it's been. I think that it's also more stable than the TT and the IBO as well. Are you only trading the WW and the Quattro now in your live accounts? No, I actually have, what you'll do eventually, guys, as you begin to grow your capital, you'll probably have an aggressive account, a moderate account, and a very conservative account. And so you'll probably, everything I put out, I think is excellent and can be traded and give you great profitability. So what you'll find is that you'll begin to do that. You just need to begin to get to that more capital is what it's going to come down to. So, I like the WW, I like the Quattro, and I like the STP very much for the long term. And that's where I'm at right now as far as that's concerned. I love the IBO and I love the TT3 too. Honestly, the TT3 is such a strong and robust trade that, it's putting, it's giving my other trades a run for its money as well. Do you offer email or phone help? For how long? Month, year, forever? Will it be able to handle multiple pairs at a time? Okay, one at a time there. I'll take the first one. Do you offer email or phone help? Yeah, we definitely offer email support. We also offer Skype support, which is much better than phone help. The reason why is because we can have representatives who can help you. You can screen share with them and see, and they can help you set up your software. They can see problems that you may be having. You can Skype chat with them, that sort of thing. And of course, it's voice as well. So if you've got a computer, Skype is free. So we've got Skype access as well. This generally, of course, you have a lifetime license to the product because it's yours. Once you buy it, it's absolutely yours. We've had clients for years who continue to get support from us with no problem whatsoever. But starting after about a year, the license is for a year is what it is. Okay, so you will always have access to the product itself, no problem. It is your product. As we continue to do upgrades, and we always do an upgrade, guys, those upgrades that when they leave from a configuration standpoint, then we switch out a little bit there, and you may want to. It'll be up to you because some people will just trade our stuff and never change it, and they like it just like that. Or you can simply renew with us, which is of course a nominal fee at the end of that year. But we've never actually even implemented that. I'm just covering our tails here because as we continue to grow, we continue to have more clients who take advantage of it, and our customer service becomes more and more taxed. What broker does this work the best on? The 5 p.m. close broker is going to work the best because, guys, what we found is, historically speaking, a 5 p.m. close is the optimal time to take a trade, to look at the market, and to analyze it. And what you'll find is across the board, when you have a 4-hour daily strategy, that's what you'll find. And that's why you'll find that some guys do well in the market. They're smart enough. Other guys are just as smart and they don't do as well. Sometimes it's about the information and how they interpret that information, and it comes down to that as well. What we're doing as well, guys, is that we're beginning to standardize all of our trading software. So if you notice recently, the Weekend Warrior can be now traded on any broker across the board and have the exact same results for all people, all clients involved. Well, we're working on 2 different solutions that will allow that to happen for you regardless of the broker that you decide to trade, as long as they're an MT4 broker. So that's great. Or in fact, you don't even need to be an MT4 for some of them. So that's great. Is the Build Wealth website same as the FX Edge website? Rich, no, it isn't. It's a completely different website. You're going to see a complete difference here. The Build Wealth website is a special website where we deal with financial advancement, and that's all we deal with. Is the Quattro that you are showing running on the 4X VPS you promote on your website? Yeah, I have a 4X VPS. It's currently running on my personal system, but at some point I'm very sure it's going to go on my 4X VPS account. Do you let Quattro run 24 hours a day, 5.5 days a week, or do you recommend trading it only during certain hours based on the currency pair? No, Jay, you can run it at all hours, and that's what I would recommend. It's the only way to get the same results, or at least be on par to get similar results to what you see here, because based upon these studies, it's running 24 hours a day, 5.5 days a week. Great, Connie. Awesome, Matt. Glad to have you aboard on this one. Just shut down your platform if the MetaTrader, if the Quattro hasn't installer hasn't loaded yet. Just downloaded the software. Awesome. The manual's not there? Okay, well, go to the website. If you go on the website, the manual should be on the website. Okay, I'm up and running. What is the Build Wealth subscription for? Is that a must for this Quattro? Absolutely not a must, but I think it's something that should be a must for life. I don't think it has to do with the Quattro at all. You know, even if you got a whole lot of money, there's no reason why you can't have more. And it's the Build Wealth is about, for some people, just putting finances in order. For others, it's about creating a whole nother channel to generate wealth. It's about a lot of things. For people who like to invest, we're actually bringing in experts to speak about different opportunities that we're going to see in these next 3 years that we can take advantage of. Really, in the next couple of years, honestly, and going forward. As we go forward, we'll go forward together, essentially. But Build Wealth is about everything that I'm doing right now to build wealth. Okay. There's a lot of questions here, guys. I'm sorry if I haven't been able to get to all of your questions. It's 100% mechanical and automated. Yes, absolutely, Brian. If it's 100% mechanical and automated, does your computer have to be on when it's trading? Well, yeah, absolutely. I mean, it can't possibly, if it's operating within the construct of your computer, it absolutely, your computer's got to be on for it to take a trade. And also, it's going to monitor those trades for you, move stop losses, that sort of thing. So you definitely want it to be on. Now, what you can do is you can get a VPS if you don't want to leave your computer on. A VPS is like maybe $20 a month. I don't remember what mine is right now, but they do have like a $20 or $30 per month, and basically you're renting a computer, and you can put the software on that computer. If you go to our website, myfxedge.com, it should be on the website there where you can get to a VPS provider, and it's simple. We'll actually set that up for you, believe it or not. I don't know why they would say that. The EAs definitely don't get confused. Each of them have their own unique identifier, and so you can put as many as you want on there. Now, I don't recommend, I'm sure that my staff told you that we don't recommend having 50 different things trading at 5% each, because that's just over leverage. And I'm sure that's what they were alluding to. And it's probably more important, the leverage issue. Awesome, Harry. Glad to have you on board. Hey, Bill, that's an idea. We'll think about that for the next one. Yeah, Ed, just contact info and we'll get you the manual. If you don't see it, guys, it'll be up. I'll go ahead and check with my group in a little bit about that. Yeah, the initial capital is actually 10K. It's not 100K. The initial capital is 10K. Does the system automatically add your profits back into the next trade? Now, if your computer shuts down for some reason, is it fair to say that this could be a potential problem? Okay, first of all, first question, does the system automatically add your profits back into the next trade? Yes, it does use compounding. That's the best way to take advantage of the time, the opportunity, and of course your capital. So it's going to add your profits back in. Next question is, if my computer shuts down, is that going to pose a potential problem? It could pose potentially a problem for you if you're in a trade, or you could potentially miss a trade, or you could be in a trade and the computer and the robot, the software wants to protect your position a bit more, and if it's not on, clearly it's operating within the construct of that software, that broker's software on your computer, it will not be able to operate. We will not be able to send a signal to the broker. So that would be an issue. But of course, the workaround for this is simply to get a VPS. Yeah, Fred recommends, and by the way, guys, Fred is he's one of my right hand men. He deals very closely with the software, on the software side of things, and he is a very serious trader. And he recommends that you start with 2.5% until you trade with profit, then increase to 5. Yeah, guys, I recommend that you actually start lower. In fact, some of you should start with 1% before you go on to 2% or 5%. It's not about the software. It's not even about the strategy. It's about you. You've got to get used to it. You know, when I first saw Arnold Schwarzenegger in Hercules, I think it was, all those years ago, I said, man, I want to look like this guy, you know, but I didn't go out there because I know he could lift 500 pounds on a bench press and try to put 500 pounds on the bench press. I didn't do that. It's the same thing with your psychology, your mental muscles, if you will, your emotional muscles as a trader. You really need to build those up. You need to start with capital that you can really afford to lose. When you're afraid to lose the capital, that's when you become a menace to yourself and to your own account. So you really need to trade really small until you get used to both winning and taking a loss, because taking losses are a part of trading. Which margin is used to size position? Account balance. Sorry, I just missed you, Alan. How long does it take for the login to be in place? I just ordered and I'm not allowed. Oh, well, I'm sure that by now you're in. It should be immediate. How concerned are you about slippage? How do you address the issue with the software? There's a couple of things there, Brian. Number one is that we have a very robust platform. In fact, I can tell you that it's going to be very difficult. It's going to be very difficult for you to find a software that's as advanced and as robust as ours on the MetaTrader 4 construct. Okay, that's number one. And so we basically, number one is because of the way that this thing trades, which is why I like the 4-hour time frame much better. We're less likely to have to deal with big time moves, and if the market does move a certain distance, the robot simply won't take that trade. When I say a certain distance, I mean a substantial different distance to where the benefit of the trade would actually be nominal at best. Yeah, download the, hey Frank, great, I'm glad that you joined us. Download the installer, you'll double click on the installer, and it will run the entire shebang for you if you've got a MetaTrader 4 platform. And we have a setup file for that as well. And guys, if you have a problem with setup, simply send us a message and we will make an appointment to have technical support help you and sign you up. Okay? We can set you up completely on your computer. You can sit back and someone else will do the work for you. And it's an easy process, though. You shouldn't have to worry about setup, though. No, we don't currently have a settings manual for the Quattro. I'm going to add that when I release to you guys after our meeting next week, where I will be telling you about how the Quattro works in with specificity. I will be releasing the settings for the Quattro there. But really, to be honest with you, each Quattro will be different, and so you don't have to worry about it as much. So the Quattro for the euro dollar is a bit different than the Quattro for the Aussie dollar, is a little different than the Quattro for the pound dollar. As you add other currencies, do we have to buy them also? No, Wayne, you don't have to buy them. It is the Quattro. It is the Quattro system. I'm giving you guys whatever I release, it becomes yours as a part of the Quattro. Do the trades continue over the weekend, or will they close out Friday night? They will continue over the weekend. We've never had a problem with that. If we have an open trade, we generally have enough space to where it doesn't become an issue. In general, now I can't promise that across the board, but in general, we've never had a problem. I can't remember ever in my years of trading having a problem with one of these strategies, because of over the weekend trading. And it's because it's not it's such a trade that has a little bit more space, a little bit more room to play with. Yeah, the results are shown excluding the add-ons, Ross. Awesome, Dion. Thanks. Easy to install, all up and running. Thanks. Now let's see what happens. Yeah, let's see what happens. I think potentially we could have great opportunities coming up based upon what we're seeing in the market right now. What's an estimated result with $50,000 on an account in 2 years? Let's see, actually. I don't know, but guys, remember that, I've got to say this, past performance is not necessarily indicative of future returns. That is my job. I've got to say that. We don't know what's going to happen in the future, but certainly $50,000 at 2.5% risk. I'm going to actually run it and try to give you guys that result based upon my back tester, which is much more robust than TradeStation. I'm sorry, than MetaTrader 4. Okay. So I'm going to run that for you. I actually enjoy doing this type of thing. I love the hypotheticals. They really keep my head in the game. So I'll get back to you on that, Michael. Is the strategy disclosed? Absolutely, Glenn. You know that's what we do here. What is the Skype support? That means that you have technical.fxedge, I believe. I think that's what it is. If you don't know it, just go to info@myfxedge.com and they can give you the technical access. And they can schedule appointments for you to meet with our technical support staff. Have you played with the trend percent? Oh, yes, I have. 90% trend percent is definitely much better. The results that I'm giving you here are only the tip of the iceberg of what's possible with this particular trade. I like it on the 4-hour chart. It's a very stable time frame. It works very well. Matt, yeah, just send a message to info, and they'll go ahead and take care of that on your account for you. Guys, if you have an extension of FXF, just send a message to info and tell them that, and they will make sure that we add those extensions for you. Do you need a build wealth password? Yes, you do. You should have been given one already. What currency pair is being used on the trade shown on the performance summary? Euro dollar. Can I use the Quattro on more than one account and on or computer? You can definitely use it on more than one account, no problem at all. It is your software. We do have protections that are placed on the software based upon computers. You can actually ask for a license with info, and they will give you one. We like to monitor who's got access to it. You guys pay good money for the software, and I work very hard at it, so I don't want it to be disseminated across the internet by some Yahoo because you understand how it is. So we have locks on it to protect our clientele, protect you as well. But you can absolutely get it on different computers if that's what you want. Awesome, Rich. See you on Sunday as well. Guys, I'll see you on Sunday for the Weekend Warrior Trading Room. I think you're going to really enjoy it. We've been on a tear. We've done quite well in the last three or 4 weeks now. Just really been on a tear in the market, profiting just every week. So that's what we want to continue to do. Really simple trade for you. If you don't know what the Weekend Warrior is, you'll really enjoy it. You get it for free for 30 days as a part of the FX Edge Quattro. So I think you're really going to enjoy that trade. What do we do with the quick start file? That's a good question. I don't even know what that is. Does 1% mean trading a micro lot? 1% could mean trading micros depending on the size of your account. Okay, hey there, Emad. Okay, when is this offer valid for before it's taken off? This looks like the best system you designed because the 4 hours something I was always interested in for the 4 hour STP type strategy. Yeah, it is. It's not going to be up for long because of the just because we want to test the group that we have, and I don't know if I'll be putting it up for a long time. The reason that I've released this, guys, is because I know that we're about to see some pretty decent moves in the market. I believe so anyway, and because I know this strategy works well during the summers, historically speaking. Thanks, Ike. I'll check on that. I'm not sure why the installer has a PDF icon. Six months, about Michael. What's the link for the Build Wealth program? Deb says it should be thebuildwealthplan.com. If you don't have you haven't received an email with a login, then simply go to info. Okay, you're getting an EA forced to stop error, Ed. Send a message to info. Yeah, we can get technical support staff on there, remote assist to help you guys with that. You too, Deb. If this is installed on a remote server, does the EA have problems if the physical machine at the remote site is changed? So far, we haven't had any issues with that, Craig. But for whatever reason, if that does occur, potentially, you may very well need to you simply reset your system, and we can do that for you. How long should we run it on demo until moving it to live account? I think that you have to have a comfort level. You can determine what level that is. I generally like to say, when I reach a certain milestone, such as if I make 10% profits, then I'm ready to move on to a live account. And then you move from a small live account to a larger live account, depending on how you've been able to deal with how you've been able to deal with that small live account. Do I need a build wealth password? Yes, you do, Greg. They should have given you one. It should be in the mail. Guys, check your junk mailbox. Potentially your build wealth password may have been lost there. Yeah, so Dion, try to meet a milestone or feel comfort level with the strategy first before you go live. That's what I always recommend. Guys, I have a lot of questions here. I'm sorry if I wasn't able to get to your question. Here's what I'll do. Let me put this right back here up at the on the screen here. myfxedge.com/Quattro. Guys, jump in on this one. I really feel strongly about this being a really good strategy. I'm trading it, and I'm excited to see you guys trade it as well. I value my reputation very, very much, and so I'm very, very careful about what I put on the market. I really do believe this one is going to be quite good for you in the long run. So I'm looking forward to being able to work with you. Guys, I want you to use lower risk. I always tell you that. Always use lower risk and just let the systems do what they're supposed to do. Learn from the systems, become a better trader, but let them run as you continue to learn. And for those of you who are veteran traders, of course, guys, step in there and mix it up. Come to the power hours just to see how we mix it up, how we kind of use a hybridized system, how we use discretionary trading with this particular system. I think you're really, really going to enjoy using this as a hybrid trader. So across the board, guys, I think this is an excellent strategy. I think you're going to have a lot of fun. I put a lot of bonuses in here. I heard someone really intelligent say, when you give someone something, make sure that, or there's a benefit for a bargain. Always give people 10 times more than what you charge them for at least, and then they'll be very pleased with you. And so this is what I've tried to do here as well. I'm giving you a lot of bonuses, guys, and really I just think the software itself is just worth way more than what we charge for it. But I want more people to get involved in this deal, so I'm going to make it possible for you at all costs that there is absolutely no reason why you won't jump in on this deal. There's no excuse. At the end of the day, it's going to come back to you. And guys, as you guys know, those who have been with me, you do know that I do take offers off. This is not a scarcity tactic. I just feel comfortable about putting certain software out to a certain group of people. If I feel as though this software isn't a hassle for me to continually upgrade, I will continue to take care of everyone, of course, but I won't put it out there to anyone else. So we'll see how I feel about it as time goes on, and really just to see what the audience feels about it, what their sentiment is, and that sort of thing. So we're probably going to put it out, and we're going to pull it off the market. I want you guys to take advantage of it this summer. I want you to be able to take advantage of it during this market that we're looking at right now. I think that we could see some very interesting moves in the next few weeks into the next month. Okay. So guys, I'm sorry if I missed some of your questions. I'm looking forward to seeing you guys in the session that we're going to do next week so I can explain to you this particular trade. I'm going to leave this here up on the screen for you. It is now 3:13 a.m. for me in the south of France, so I'm probably going to sign off in a few minutes. I look forward to seeing you guys on the other side. Hey, Brian, last question. Yeah, everything that we have is completely automated. No problem. See you guys on the other side. I'm looking forward to having a session with you next week and really seeing you in the power hours.